Hey, good evening, guys. Good evening. This is Spiritjourney. Yes, I hope you all had a really good day. In New York City, it was really hot, and but they did have some breeze. But I hope later on it gets, during the week that it gets a little bit more cooler and more breeze. Yes. Well, today I have another topic, and I haven't discussed something like this before. I'm going to talk about relationships. Yep. And I just felt led to discuss this. And I think this topic is really geared for men. But both sexes could take on the principles, could learn from the principles of this message. And so I want to begin. I have below here my notes. I wrote down what are the major differences between a man and a youth or a boy. And I wrote down these things. Okay, the major difference is that the youth dreams and is impulsive and does not consider the consequences of his actions, while a man executes into fruition his dreams. He is self-controlled and is mindful of the consequences of his actions. Okay? Now that's a mouthful, but the distinction between them in just that synopsis is that one, the youth or the boy, he's more impulsive, he's a dreamer, but he doesn't, he dreams because he hasn't gotten to the next level of how to put into fruition the dream that he has. It's okay to dream, but that's all a boy or a youth or immature person can do, is just dream. We all have different levels, and you always have to start with the base level, which is dreaming. But when you mature and life helps mature person, then you get to the next level about putting into plan. And when you plan, it takes thought and it takes the ability to set priorities and then to create what you dream. Okay? And I wrote this down because I thought that this message is really the foundation of any relationship, whether it be a man or a boy, or the difference between a woman and a girl. That principle holds for both genders. But I'm really targeting in this live stream for men to consider. And when a man approaches a woman, a lady, okay, see, it's the difference between a lady and just that girl over there, a lady, the connotations of a lady is that individual that you would like one day to bring home to meet your mother, your people who are important in your life. So you only bring a lady home to see your family. That's the type of person you want to marry. You want to marry a lady if you're a gentleman or a man. So some of you may be asking that you're out there and you want to find that right person, and you wonder, hey, how come she didn't ask me, Are we going to go out on a second date? Or how come even when you presented to this person that you're interested in, she didn't even consider even going out with you the first time? It could be maybe some things she might be doing that you may not be conscious of. And so I want to present to you some things that could help you guys out. Okay? So I already gave like my intro. And I think it's the foundation of any relationship, but especially a man. Okay? So in concentration about what a man does, that a man knows how to execute his dreams. And again, as I said, that it takes planning and organization, and also he's self-controlled. A person who's not self-controlled, he doesn't have the discipline, even if he has the steps before him, what to consider, and that maybe certain things he has to wait a few days or weeks for certain things, because if he is impulsive, maybe the timing's not right, and so it's going to be a disaster. So if he's not controlled, he's not going to go anywhere, not for long at least. And that he's mindful of his consequences, I said. Mindful, that means he has thought. He's in tune with himself inside. He has an inner dialogue that could be instructive. And so he's also considering, if I do A, B, and C, what could happen? Will this thing interfere with my goals? So a man also has goals, and he thinks of those steps and procedures, how to obtain them. Okay? And so I wrote down some other points. Okay, I have here, when dealing with a real woman that you want to impress, men should, avoid false promises such as, I'll buy you this one day, I'll give it to you later on, maybe we can go to such and such place. So everything is like he's presenting it as, something that's elusive, that it's not at hand. It's something in the future. Now you're just meeting a woman. And so when you present things like that, this is going to make her maybe a little antsy. Like she might say, well, why is he saying these things? Why can't I have it now? See, some men falsely believe that by saying things like that, like promising things or to do certain things, that is called baiting. And he's relying on some future thing and relying on this lady waiting. And so like that little carrot, the horse and the carrot, and that little horse is trying to get at the little carrot, and because it's being dangled in front of her face. So maybe initially she might be interested and hopeful, but that hope could turn into frustration when it's not delivered at an appropriate, at a expedient time, so it could work against you. And you should only say you're going to do some of things that you could deliver. See, that's the difference between a boy and a man, because the man knows what he can deliver, and it's okay to not be able to do a particular thing. But to promise a woman, especially, that you're going to do these things or you're going to buy her something, it's, again, it's relying on her being patient enough. She may not be patient. And we all have different levels of patience. But if you're a man, you should only say and promise things that you can do. If you can't do it, you're better off not saying anything. And when a man is silent a lot of times, you could come across even more intelligent. So sometimes saying the least amount of things. Oh, see the yeah. Hello, Alejandro and Coach Abdullah. Yes, good evening, both of you guys. Yes, loose promises dangle in front of her face. Yeah, wouldn't that make you frustrated, guys? Wouldn't that if a woman said, I'm going to, maybe we can do this or that, and the lady keeps saying these things over and over again, you're going to initially you might say, oh wow, nice, and you're hopeful, but then that hope turns into frustration, and that frustration could lead into anger, and you might just walk out on her. Just like if a woman is promised something over a period of time and it sounds elusive, the same thing will happen, Okay. Avoid false okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I just read that. Instead, okay, so the next point of that about false promises is, instead, find out what you love, what her likes are or needs, and he presents his sacrificial or thoughtful deed or gift to her. Okay, let me reword that. That came across a little awkward. Now, rather than making these promises, don't tell a woman what you're gonna do. Just do it. It's really impressive. So, what I meant by this is that a man will look at his woman or his interests, and analyze and watches her. I mean, don't be obvious that you like observing her, but maybe she like let's say you're taking a nice stroll on this, outside, and there's storefronts, and you notice that she looks at certain things that captures her fancy. Keep a mental note of those things. Okay, don't say one thing, or don't even say, oh, you like that. When a woman likes something. Okay, you'll see her eyes. You see her eyes go, wow, or she, you'll know. Okay, and then at a good moment, if it's something that you could afford, you get it for her, and then you present it to her. You say, hey, I have something for you, and I saw you admiring such and such, or I saw that you wanted those tickets at that play, and so hey, I got this for us, for you, and we could go together, or what's appropriate. This is a must do if you want to impress a woman and keep a woman. And it's not about that constantly buying things. It's not about the quantity of the gift or the price of the gift that is impressive. I mean, that can impress, but that's not what the real impressiveness of it. Why she's impressed is that you knew what she liked. And she didn't even have to tell you, verbalize it. So it makes the woman feel that you're intuitive, that you're someone of the heart. And that's the best way to catch a woman and to keep a woman, by being of the heart. See, women are very more heart-centered, more feeling and things like that. And so she'll relate to you more, and that her heart will be more connected to yours, and should be more loyal, I think, and more understanding of your weaknesses, because we all have weaknesses. So this is a plus. It shows that you're paying attention to her, so she's going to feel valued. A lot of women don't feel valued by their partners. They feel overlooked. They're not appreciated, and she may not feel that you love them, and you might really love them. So love is an action. Yeah, it has feelings in it, but we're not mind readers. But so if you're able to convey that you pay attention to her, and that you got her something, or maybe it was a task, maybe she needed something repaired in her home, and then you fixed it without her even saying so. That's a plus. So it's not how big, and it's not about money. It's about thoughtfulness. It's a win-win, Yeah. Okay. Yes, I'm just saying in my notes here, by doing this gives a woman a sense of security and feelings of appreciation towards her man. So she's going to be like this to you. Yeah. And that's what you want. See, some men feel that some women like looking at other men, and that there's she's not really interested in you, and that would make anyone feel awful. But when you do things like this, thoughtful things, her eyes are going to be for you and not for anyone else. So, but again, hopefully that you have a true lady. There are women who pretend to be ladies and are not. And what I mean by that is that they might physically be a woman, but they're not a lady. And there's a difference between a lady and a woman. So, yeah. Okay. Men, avoid talking about how you used to be a cheater in your prior relationships. Okay? And what that is communicating to her is that you're not someone who has ethics. If you cheated in a prior relationship, there is a strong likelihood that you're going to do it again. And again, it shows immaturity. It shows that you didn't respect your past relationship. And again, it's showing that you're immature. You're not ready for a commitment, a serious commitment. You're not ready for adulthood. You want the cookies, but you don't want to pay for it. So, you don't want that. So again, it's a distinction between a man and a youth or a boy. Okay, again, the boy doesn't consider the consequences of his behavior, but a man does. So by saying that you used to do this, for one, keep your past relationships in the past, because now you're dealing with a new person. So put new energy in this relationship. Don't bring up something from the past, especially if it's unsolicited. If you think some things are necessary to discuss, use wisdom in how you say it, but don't like brag about it that you cheated and how you didn't get caught, and then so and so did this and that to try to help you out to protect your activities. It shows lack of character. So if you're a real man, be a man of character, okay? Because one day you might become a parent and you want to be able to teach how to have good standing. You want to teach your children how to be ladies and gentlemen. So if you teach that you used to be a player and this and that, that's not macho at all. It shows immaturity. And as you go outside and look out there, you see a lot of immature boys. And of course, you have a lot of immature girls too. But we need men and women to teach boys and girls how to be mature and how to be self-controlled. Someone who's cheating on their partner is saying, I don't have self-control. So who doesn't have self-control? But children, okay? Okay. I hope you guys or ladies, I hope you're not, I hope this is interesting information. And if you find it interesting, let me know what you're thinking, and you could put in the chat if you understand what I'm saying and any feedback, okay? I think this other thing here is also a very good thing to consider. Let's say you just meet a lady, someone that you know you like, and then you take out a large wad of money, and you're flashing bills, and then you put, it's not like you had to go pay something, but you're showing off that, hey, I got money, and you're waving your bills and everything like that. Okay, now this also is a sign of a immature male, because a real man doesn't have to show off, whether he's rich or poor, whatever what your status is. That's not going to impress a lady. And again, this discussion is about men who are interested in a lady, who you're interested in a relationship and marriage. So you want to be positive. You want to show her that you're someone who is conscientious of money. Money is a tool. That's all what money is. It's a tool to be able to buy products or services. And so when you fling it around, you're showing disrespect for money. Okay? So it's saying something about you. And a person who's flashing money is an easy target to be ripped off. And so if you rely on money to impress a person, your friends or a lady, you're not going to have it long, because you're probably going to get ripped off. When you leave, let's say to go to the bathroom, you could get beat up in the bathroom and take your money. And again, flashing money like that, it's also called baiting. Some men do that to test the woman or the friend, whatever, and find out what they're about. So, if you know why you're doing what you're doing, if you're doing it to show off, or to make her think, or your friends think that you're going to spend it on them, don't do it if you don't mean it. Keep it in your pocket. Be discreet. Men, be discreet about your wealth. So then you know what the woman's true intentions are. Do they like you for you? Or do they like you because they think that you're going to, yes, hello, Yakov. Yes. So if, I'm sorry, I'm just catching my thought. Now, if you have this money, you're going to how do you say, you'll be able to see with how the other person responds. But again, those people who aren't concerned of what the lady's response is, and is just interested in showing off, again, it's a, you're not going to be catching a lady. You're going to be catching a gold digger. And this discussion is not how to get a gold digger. Gold diggers are temporary. They may do certain things for you, but it's conditional, and it's about getting things from you. You don't want that. Don't waste your time. See, that's the difference between a man and a woman. I mean, a man and a boy. A man looks for longevity, and a boy is interested in instant gratification. Why waste your time then? Why waste your time? You want that longevity. And you don't want a gold digger, you want a lady. And again, flashing money, it's a real turnoff to a lady. So that's the key message. It's a turnoff. And if you take out money, take out what you need. Don't take the whole thing out, because it's cheapening the lady. It's treating her almost like she's a prostitute, So it's offensive. Even if it's another man that, some things is just tacky. So if you don't want to appear tacky to your friends or someone who you're trying to impress, be discreet with your cash, because it shows respect for that cash, okay? And if you respect money, it's going to respect you back, and you'll get more. But a person who just takes big wads of money, they're going to lose it quickly, okay? You have also, sometimes people do what they call name dropping. Okay, it could be the famous, like actors or politicians. When he does something like this, he's relying on the shoulders of others rather than himself. He doesn't think he's important enough or valued enough, so he's going to put, say that he knows all these influential people. So he's saying that he's boring and everybody else is exciting. So let me make myself more exciting by saying I know these people. Or let's say they've been to this place and that place, and they're just going on and on. Okay, that's going to turn off a real lady. A gold digger, a superficial person might be impressed by that. But sometimes people may know certain people. But again, it's the intent behind what they're saying. Are they just, let's say you ask them, what do you do for a living? And they mention, I do this and that, and I had to work with this person. Let's say that this was a public figure. So if it's just an FYI, that's okay. But when people go on and on that they know all these people, again, it may not even be true. And lies always catch up with you, So why even do it? Because when you make one lie, you need another lie to cover that. And sometimes you forget what you lied about. You contradict yourself. And if she's really listening, she might just listen. And she may not say that, hey, you just contradicted yourself. She'll just listen. See, a real lady will listen because she wants to know what type of man you really are. Are you a fibber or what? Okay? And then you wonder why she didn't go out with you on the second date, or even accepted your first date, you know? So it's going to cut doors. So again, gentlemen, that this is about those gentlemen out there who are interested in a lady and what's going to attract her. What's going to attract a lady is your character. And what about you? Everyone has something positive to offer that other person, because the fact that you're alive, the fact that you have a living essence within you, that alone is something that you could offer someone. Okay? So you don't have to lie about things. People are going to be attracted to the you. And so that's what they're going to see. And they're going to overlook those other things because no one is perfect. But your true essence is what comes forth, you know? And you focus on the positive within you, and that's going to grow within that relationship. Yeah. Okay, I have here, let me see. Okay. Yeah, I kind of mentioned about this, about baiting people, that when you say to your prospective partner that you're going to do things for them or buy them things or take them places, again, that's a dreamer. And we already discovered in the beginning of this live stream that that's what boys do, the youth. They're dreamers. They'll say everything and not consider the actions of their words. And you're relying on them to believe you, and you're stringing them along like the little horse with the little carrot. That's, the horse is trying to get to the carrot, but that horse eventually would get fed up and say, I'm not going to move one more inch. So why even do that? So and again, it's considered baiting. You bait what they call hookers. You don't want a hooker or a prostitute. You don't want that. You want a lady. So don't treat a lady like a hooker. You can go to a hooker and you just hook up for that moment. But you want a lady. And so don't bait people. Don't bait, male or female, because it's going to eventually catch up with you and it could get you in trouble. And this type of behavior, as I mentioned earlier, it's fear-based. A person who does this, male or female, they are a very fearful they're fearful in nature. And so that's a sign of someone who's immature. Deal with your fears first before you even think about going out, on a date to get to know a particular person that you like. Get you fixed first. Find out why you feel fearful. I mean, everyone who is just getting into something for the first time, yes, there's anxiety and fear attached to it, because it's the unknown, and that's okay. And that can actually be very, how do you say? Some ladies might even like that a guy is showing his sensitive side, because she may understand, But it's okay to show a little fear, but you just keep on going, and at least it's real, it's real. Show real emotion, but with self-control. And I think you'll be able to get over that hump, So we all have fear, and ask yourself why you feel certain ways how to overcome it. And when you think maybe even tell yourself before you go on a date, if certain things occur, how are you going to handle it when it comes? And that's a great way on how to handle fear. So if you know ahead of time what you can do if a certain thing occurs, you'll do X, Y, and Z, and in fact, you'll come across even more confident. Yeah. And it will give you more confidence because you already told yourself, okay, when I get to this point, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, So I thought these things are different, are foundational in principle about relationships, and especially between, the man and his woman. These days, a lot of people aren't taught about how to treat each other. And you see outside in the street, you have more ability to communicate. You have people who are on their cell phones, you have people with their house phones. You have the mailbox. You have all these means to communicate, but somehow there's so much static in between, and relationships seem to be more and more in chaos. When I go outside, I see people arguing, cursing each other. So it seems like we're not becoming closer, we're becoming more distant, even though we have the ability to communicate more, but we're not becoming effective. So I think that we really have to learn about ourselves and overcome those fears that we have, because those fears could be things that would be used against you. And then you start to ask yourself, wow, how come I didn't get that lady and this other guy got the person of their dreams, Well, most likely it's one of those principles you violated. And maybe that person may not be as good looking, maybe they're even poorer, but maybe why they got that person is because they had character. They valued her feelings, so she felt safe, secure, and she felt relaxed. And so she said yes. Yeah. So it's like some people, they sabotage themselves. So it's not about so much that they're better than the other person isn't. It's how you may come across. A lot of men, they'll be really nice people, but they violated certain principles. And again, some of these principles I mentioned, again, it really applies to both male and female in principle. So I just felt it important so that, to help in the communication, to eliminate that frustration that could come about because certain principles were violated, So let me see some of the other comments here. Let's see. Yeah, Coach Abdullah, don't tell me, show me. Let's see. I completely understand. I was raised with these principles. That's really nice, Coach. Let's see. Yes, hello, Yakov. Charge card romances. Yeah, don't don't even do it. Don't use that charge card. See, a charge card is bondage. That's right. A charge card is slavery. If you don't have the money to buy it, don't use that charge card, because after all that is said and done, you have to pay back what you borrowed and the interest on top of it. And there are people who are enslaved to the card, And that's a quick way to ruin a relationship before you even get started, because you're in debt. And how could you relax and enjoy your partner if you're wondering how you're going to pay your bills? Yeah, cut it up. Yeah, and it's sad because, some guys, they really want to impress the person of interest, and they might go to a real fancy place, and they really can't afford it. A lady. I'm not talking about a girl. I'm not talking about I'm talking about a lady, the type of person that you would like to marry, the type of person that you would like to introduce to your parents or your relatives. And so she'll understand. A real woman will understand. It's not how much you spend. And in fact, it's a turn off for when I sense a man is just trying to impress, trying to just, the person would sense it, and it might make them uncomfortable. So I think it's good to, if you buy within your means and go in your territory. See, if you go in a territory that you're not really familiar with, it's going to produce more anxiety, and she's going to pick it up. Go in an environment that you're comfortable in. When you're comfortable, when the man is comfortable, the lady feels secure, and a secure lady will really love to hold on to you. Women like to feel secure with the man, and so it's not so much I guess the nature of the female, that because we're weaker in general, the women are predated on. And so when a woman feels safe in the man that she's with, she's not going to be looking at other people, other guys. She's going to be looking at you. She's going to admire you. Yeah. Women like strength, and women like confidence. So he doesn't have to be perfect, but just be confident in himself, and at the stage that he is in. So if you're going to go out, go in an area that a place that you can afford, and in your territory. But let's say again, she might say, well, I want to go here, but know that it's awkward now. Some women may feel like if you don't go where she wants to go, she might feel like, oh, you're withholding, or that you're being cheap. But I would say, try to convey to her, say, I really like you, but could we just consider something else? So again, if she's a real lady, she'll agree, and if not, then she's she's someone that might be a gold digger. So who needs that? And again, you bear to see, if that's what she really is, then you wouldn't want that. Yeah, so you're both exploring each other. But again, for this is really focused on the guys. Be a leader at what you do. I think women like leaders, but women don't like a pushy person. But a leader is someone who has someone follow them. See, a leader doesn't have to push anyone, because he's up there in front and she's following him. There's no coercion. See, it's a balance. It has to be a mutual respect for each other. Okay, let me see this other message here from Yakov. It says, when I ask for a date, I say the worst thing that can happen is you'll have a good time. They get taken back and think about it. Okay. I'm not sure if I understand that. Let me read that again. When I ask for a date, I say the worst thing that can happen is you'll have a good time. Oh, okay. Okay. They they get taken back and think about it. Okay. It's like, you're putting yourself out there. But again, all of us in our development, you have to make, you have to be able to take a chance. Not everything, you know, not everything's going to be perfect all the time. You may not, you might get rejected. But again, it takes it takes maturity, and it's okay for a woman to say no. It doesn't mean anything that's bad about you. It you could just reflect and say, okay, maybe this wasn't the right one. So just pat yourself on the back, because I think it takes great courage to ask a person out. It does. Yeah, you're a winner when you're able to put yourself out there. It does. See, you're not in control of the outcome. I mean, you ask someone, and you're not in control of those other people's emotions. You're only in charge of yourself. And again, it takes a lot of courage to ask. So it's good. And again, the worst thing that could happen is they say no. But it just means that wasn't the right time for that person. Maybe there's somebody else for you. Yeah. And again, you're all learning in this school called life, right? Okay, a leader today is called controlling in a relationship. Yeah. Yeah, that's. See, a lot of people think that that's a leader. A lot of people mistaking leadership. They do bullying. I knew this person years ago, about 20 years ago. This person had a lot of presence to them. It's just someone who I knew. And he was very, very tall. He could have been maybe around 6'5". He was a bodybuilder. He had a very commanding voice. And all these men, I mean, now these weren't gay guys or anything like this, but this guy had a presence about him. And he had people follow him. He had natural leadership abilities, because even like a pack of dogs, you have the head dog, and you have the others who follow. And whatever what the leader dog does, says, the others will do, will execute what's expected of them. So leadership is not a bully. A bully is a bully. A bully is a fearful person. They're a weak person. They're weak-minded. And they got it distorted in their head that to lead someone is to do coercion on them or threaten, No, you won't go far. They won't go far. But a real leader, men and women, people would just follow them. So a leader always has someone behind them following. That's the whole concept of the name. A leader, they're up in front. And then you have followers, okay, and they tag along. But a follower does not necessarily mean that they're a leech. They're attracted to your energy, and some followers could actually be an asset. They may have a special skill that the leader, a leader doesn't mean that they know everything. It doesn't mean that they can do everything. But a real leader knows how to delegate and be able to see in others their abilities. They say, okay, this person has this strength in them, or this quality, or this asset, and so on and so on. And he's able to, he or she, a leader could be a male or female, they could see and they could maybe understand the weaknesses and strengths of those other people. And he or she assigns them tasks. And when it's implemented, those tasks, everyone benefits. The leader benefits because he's being supported by his followers, and he's also protective over his followers too, right? So it's really something with these relationships, or so-called leaders today. We don't have leaders today, we have bullies, many of them. Yeah, so I can't think of anything else, but I appreciate you guys and any ladies there who is looking at this video or will be watching this video in the future once it's uploaded on YouTube. I thank you all for watching, and we all are in this school called life, and we're all learning, and every day is a new lesson to learn. But I felt this was important enough to share with you all, and again, especially as it pertains to the men watching this, because I see so many things happening, and I think people should just know and say, hey, this is happening, and this is causing the opposite effect of what you want. You want to be perceived as a gentleman, as a man, as that leader, and not a boy or a youth. You want to be a mature individual, and what you do is seen by others, and what others sees could actually, and if it's not good, could be detrimental to your development. So I thank you. Oh, hello, Tuan. Yes, I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm just, Tuan, I'm just about to close this upstream. But yes, I'm doing well, and yes, and thank you for watching. And tell your friends about this live stream. It'll be up in a few moments on YouTube, and I hope you enjoyed this message. And again, this message is not to be considered as a put down, but really a pick up to encourage and to inform those who may wonder why certain things, their actions are working against them. So it's really to just inform so that you become aware and that you could correct. So again, thank you so much for watching. This is Spirit Journey signing off. Have a great week, okay? Thank you again. Bye-bye.